What's trending in Seattle?
So we told you last week when we talked with a man named Ted Foster. He is with the Northeast Seattle Little League. And he is complaining that they're spending $120,000 for a permit so that they can have their Little League have access to fields in the city. $120,000, which is a ton of money. And yet, what are they getting in return? Nothing. They're getting virtually nothing other than permission to continue to use space that is beyond disrepair.
Our requests to the city have fallen on deaf ears. We have no support. We have no field maintenance. We have really nobody within the city listening to our requests to repair fences, fields, mow fields, fix water drainage issues, and at the same time they've doubled our costs.
The nerve of him to ask for fields to be maintained. How dare you, sir? Look, if you were dropping more money, maybe, but it's only $120,000. Oh, wait, it's $120,000. That's a lot. That's a lot. And as he told me, they've had to raise fees in order to make ends meet, and that doesn't seem like it's very equitable from a city standpoint, does it?
We had to raise our entire fee structure for all of the families just in our past board meeting because our permit costs have doubled year after year the last 2 years. So, it's a 50% increase and then a 50% increase, and it makes up more than 60% of our entire league budget.
It's insane. That's absolutely insane. And so I reached out to the city, and part of me was waiting for them to say, okay, it's not really $120,000. That was a little exact. Oh, no, it's $120,000. They said, we're sorry to hear about the challenges this league has been experiencing and encourage them to reach out to talk with our staff directly. He's done that. The league has done that multiple times. In fact, in my email to Seattle Parks asking them for a comment, I'm pretty certain I said, according to this individual that I spoke to, they've reached out to y'all and you've not said anything to them. You're not helping at all. And so the response is, he should reach out to us directly. He did. We have contact with them, but none of our repair work is being taken care of, Foster told me. And yet still, the department defended its work, saying, quote, field maintenance of grass fields can be challenging in a rainy city like Seattle. It's hard. And they noted that, quote, fee increases brought Seattle's fees more in line with market rates, and that the, quote, revenue collected supports recreation programs, park maintenance, and staffing, except it doesn't go to the fields that you're charging them $120,000 a year to play on. They admitted in their statement that they have some fields, including two of the ones that this league plays on, that, quote, accumulate a lot of water in the rain, which is weird, as opposed to what else would you accumulate in the rain? Snow, other than they'd call it snow. And require us to cancel games and practices. It's a known issue at these fields. It's almost like paying $120,000 in fees should go to fixing a known problem. And yet, it's not. So we published this story today. We aired the interview, I think it was on Thursday. And since then, I have heard from a whole bunch of people. I have awakened a sleeping giant in the Little League communities here, because a bunch of different Little Leagues have reached out and say, oh, it's not just them who are dealing with this. We're all dealing with this. We're spending six figures on permits in our league, and we don't get anything. Someone else said they are still dealing with homeless people who take over the parks that they're playing in. This is another one of those complete and utter frauds perpetuated by the city, because they have essentially hostages here. They know the Little Leagues aren't just going to stop playing Little League, right? They know that they can get more money out of them. And so they're going to continue to do it and do it and do it until everyone decides they can't do it any longer. And then they'll say, okay, well, we got as much money as we could. And then they just turn their attentions to new victims. They're holding kids hostage. And every once in a while we get a story, some survey that comes out saying the city of Seattle in particular is not a child or family friendly city. And usually, politicians will push back. How dare they? We love our families. We support our families. And yet we get stories like this. This is so easy to avoid. One of the things this particular league complained about and asked for was, could you just fix like the netting around our field because it's broken and we go through $200 worth of baseballs every single game, every single weekend? Could y'all not just do that? In fact, Ted Foster on the show said, we will raise the money and do the work, but the city says we can't do it. And part of me understands why the city doesn't want individual leagues to do any kind of work because there's liabilities. And I get that. But they're paying for it. Why can't you just get on the phone and say, okay, they're going to pay for it, but it's going to come through us, so we're doing it on the level and we don't run into any liability issues. They can't even do that. It's absurd. It is absurd. And this happens when you just don't care. And Seattle Parks and the city of Seattle, they just don't care. They don't. There are plenty of cities that have little leagues in which we are not dealing with this particular issue. You probably live in one of those cities. Some of you right now probably volunteer at some of these leagues where you have no issues. This is a Seattle problem. This is a Seattle problem, and they just don't care.